Hey guys, it's Tony with Wood Tramp Outdoors. It's August. Got mission 126 from BattlBox. Hang tight. We're going to share this with you. All right guys, welcome back. Yeah, it's August, middle of August right now, and it's mission 126. Some great stuff in here, but got a couple things that I want to just mention of. First of all, you know, we got emails about the BattlBox being late, and really, you know, it wasn't that bad. You know, overall, this company's always been on time, have been stellar, and when they're not, they're upfront about it. They're not trying to hide anything. The CEO wrote you a personal message and let you know what was going on. So kudos to you, Mr. Roman, for doing that. Appreciate it. The other thing is, you know, I told you last month that we had a lot of requests, you know, to ask what's our favorite piece of gear in every box that we review. And on the tail of that, I got 2 emails asking me, you know, to tell you what gear that I really hated. And the answer is, I'm not going to do that. Obviously, we got you to do that, so you can do your job. I will share with you what I feel is the best piece in here for me, what I like the best. So we're going to get off into this right now. And this month's mission is Campcraft. That's the idea behind this. And as you'll see, this pretty much hits the mark here. The basic box, which is $39.99. It's small gear, big foundation. There are 4 pieces that are inside this. The first one is the Grand Trunk Adventure Shelf. Now, I had Mo show me how to open this up, you know, all the way. But basically what it is a hanging piece of gear that is designed for organization. Right? It's got 1, 2, 3 areas, and maybe 4 if you'd want to lay a cell phone up there or something like that. It's a neat piece of little gear. You know, is this something that I would put in my ruck to take out for a weekend or something? Probably not. But I could see Mo carrying this around, you know, and putting it in a shelter, whether it's a tent or it's a hammock system that you want to take stuff in, because everybody knows if you do any amount of hammock camping, one of the most annoying things is trying to find a place to put your stuff so it doesn't, you know, end up underneath you, under your armpit or under your tail or whatever. This guy right here from Grand Trunk would solve that issue. That's a lot of room. All you gotta do is hang it on your ridgeline and you are set to go. Now the way that you put this back, now that's a different story here, because I want to show you how small it is. I know that Brandon's already done that. Current 1776 has already done that, but I just kind of want to show you, you know, if this guy can do it, anybody can do it, right? It all folds down like that, and then you unzip the top and you refold that out like so. Yep, go right around with that, put it in there. I'm out in the Pine Ridge Forest today. I came out here to review a tarp system from Dutchware Gear. If you don't know anything about Dutchware Gear, I didn't either. I do now. And we wrote an article on it. So we also have an article on BattlBox in there. So this month's issue, woodtrampoutdoors.com. Get out there, take a look at it. Now this is how the Grand Trunk looks when it's all in its little ditty bag right there. Small footprint for your rucksack. All right, the second item that we're going to talk about today is the Fireballs Fire Starters, made in Georgia and ready to burn. Okay, these have got 3 main ingredients, and it's wax, wood shavings, and a cotton wick. Okay, and they call them the Fireballs. And they probably started out that way, right? But they really look like a half ball is what they look like. And I would say probably more than likely that during the manufacturing they do come out in a ball right there. See that? Dink donk, dink donk. And they cut them in half. And these things will burn like nobody's business, okay? Now somebody pointed out that on the side of the box that it says manufactured in South Africa. Well, they said it was Georgia. How about this, friends? The balls are made in Georgia and the box is made in South Africa. That's not Bible. I don't know that for sure. I can't give you book, chapter, and verse on that, but my experience, I've seen that a lot of times. Don't get a headache over it. These are made in America, right down in Georgia. Hey, when are we going to get some Georgia peaches up here in a BattlBox? All right, so number 3, and I really like this personally myself. This is the Trek Natural Insect Repellent, and says it doesn't smell like DEET, actually works and won't melt your synthetic gear, which is absolutely imperative. There are some solvent-based bug sprays, insect repellents that you get them on the wrong gear and you've lost it. It turns into jelly. This is not it. Built for the trail, made in Georgia. Man, got all them Georgia boys going. With real deal essential oils. Trek keeps the bugs at bay without the demand of chemical warfare. It's a natural blend of lemongrass, cedarwood, peppermint, and more. The smell is clean and it works. I like it, and we are probably going to end up with some more of this. All right, now I got some bug stuff on me right now, and you'll be, if you watch the channel, we'll be dropping a video on the bug stuff that I'm reviewing here today. But I love this. I used it on my back porch the other night. It's like our yard has turned into mosquito haven with all the crabgrass, with the lack of rain that we got going on up here. I was sitting out there, had to tie myself down. The mosquitoes were taking me off the porch. But then I used this on my legs and on my arms and the tops of my hands. No problem. They went away. They didn't want nothing to do with this. All right, so now, as always, I'm going to encourage you to get out there with this little guy right here. So many times I hear from you folks that you don't use your coupons. You let them expire. I don't know that there is an expiration date on this one here. It doesn't look like it, but you know, who knows? Doesn't look like it, but you can get 25% off by scanning this as a BattlBox exclusive. Get you a few cans of this because it actually works. Smells great. Maybe I'll stop wearing cologne in the summertime. That is the 3rd item in the basic box. And then the 4th item comes from our good friends at My Medic. This is called the Tool Mod. Now let me read you something about this. If your first aid setup doesn't have some basics at the ready, you're behind the curve. Absolutely, I concur with that. A lot of people have an IFACT and they put it together based upon videos they've seen on YouTube. They put it in their bag and they never open it up, ever look at that again, and hopefully, you know, they'll be able to work it out if they have an emergency. That's the most, how can I say it tactfully, that's the stupidest thing you can ever do. Get your med kit together, know your stuff, know how to use it. Now, to take you to another level in your med kit, BattlBox has reached out to My Medic again, and they have provided us the Tool Mod that has essential gear in it that sometimes you don't think about. So let me just look at this with you here. Who would think that a really nice whistle would be in there? But this dude, hope nobody comes running. Did you hear that? That bird just answered this. Okay. Anyway, this is heavy duty by My Medic. I don't know who makes it for them, but it is a very nice whistle. Then, and I'm pulling these out not in order just how they're coming out. These are thermometer sleeves, and these are the thermometers. Okay, if I'm being honest here, I am not going to put a thermometer in my own med kit, in my IFAC kit. But at some point, this is going to end up in our base camp kit because there's been many times that people have developed a fever, and we're guessing, you know, does they feel hot, you know, or is their skin just hot, you know, and they suffer through the weekend, you know, when if we would have had a thermometer, we could have said, yeah, got to get them out of here right now. Their temperature's way too high. Great ad on that, and you have these sleeves so you're not sharing germs, slobbers, and ooglies. That's a great ad there too. Then you have, oh, I'm digging this, man. I'm really liking this here. This is a pen light, right? Can't use it with that sleeve on there though, but you see that pen light. Yeah, I can see you now. Look at that. Bam. And they've got a pupil chart, be able to gauge what's going on with people's pupils. So that is another good ad. This isn't made for walking around in the woods. You ought to have a headlamp and a standby handheld, you know. I don't have my kit on me today, my chest rig, but I've got a headlamp in there, and then I also have a small, powerful flashlight in there that if I need it, it's going to get me in and out of the woods in the middle of the night. I guess in a pinch that this might work, but that's not what it's designed for. And it's very doubtful you're going to be carrying this here. You know, again, this probably wouldn't end up in my own personal kit. It would end up in a med kit for a base camp. But if it was in your own personal kit, it'd be okay if you got room for it. But I like this ad too. And then for my money, the star of the show in this little mod are these boogers right here. How many times have you ever needed a pair of tweezers and you go to reach for the ones that came in your pre-built med kit, and you go to get a splinter or a stinger or whatever out of your, hey, get off that lens there, my man. And all they did is bend. They were flimsy, couldn't do anything. This particular set of tweezers is heavy duty, and they are not going to fail you. They really won't. So to me, that is the best thing in this little med kit here, but it's all good as far as I'm concerned. So right there concludes your basic box for $39.99, and we're going to move on to the advanced box this month. And this is the $69.99 level. It says stay connected, stay ready. This was recommended by Brandon Curran, Mr. Curran 1776 himself. Man, you check out how long his beard's getting. He's going to be caught in his tennis shoes pretty soon. All right, Billy Gibbons, ZZ Top. All right, in this month's advanced box, you can tell I'm out here by myself today because if Mo was here, she'd be going like this to me. Stop that. All right. Advanced box, rugged, water-resistant, long-range communication tool designed for everyday adventure. These radios that I'm getting ready to show you, I can only hold one at a time. Got two of them out here in this box. This is the Midland X-Talker T5 1S LV two-way radios. This is a 22-channel, 36-mile range with 38 privacy codes, EVOX hands-free operation. Comes with a belt clip, comes with a charger. It has a 3-year warranty. And I tell you why I like these radios, okay? Anywhere that you go out in the woods and you're not by yourself, you're out with a party or just a single person. When Mo and I go out in the woods, she has her chest rig, I have mine, and on both of them is a small radio that are similar to these, okay? I may switch them out with these. And we're no more than probably a quarter mile away from each other. That's about how far we get. No more than that. Maybe a half a mile at tops, but that's rare, man. That's very, very rare. But however far we are away, oftentimes because we're here in the eastern woodlands and there's a lot of, you know, brush and briar, hills, streams and creeks, we don't have a good line of sight. So, you know, I don't want her to get too far away. She doesn't want me to get too far away. And we got these radios that we can stay in touch with. Hey, did you find that? Are you looking for this? Hey, see if you can find this berry. You know, what's it look like over there for an area for a shelter? These radios are great for that. Now, Midland says that these are good for up for 38 miles. But I can tell you, after many moons out in the woods, hunting, fishing, humping, you know, going out on a long hunt or whatever, 38 miles will probably work if you're on the salt flats out in Utah, where there's nothing but a flat piece of ground to where that signal can skip and bounce along the way. But the minute that you put up, you see the trees behind me? The minute you walk out into a woodsy situation, the range of your radios begin to shorten and quiet down. So I would say, because of the fact that I have experience with Midland Radios, and the ones that I have right now are not on this level, that I am comfortable up to a half a mile, and I might push it out to a mile, because I've been out on the water and was about a mile away, and I could talk clearly, but I think it was because of the bouncing off the water. But a half a mile, I think you'd be great. If you and your partner are out hunting, or you're out doing a scout, whatever you're doing, everybody needs to have a set of these. This is a great ad, and I'm excited about this for that reason, and for this reason also. It kind of gets you in the mode of thinking about, emergency radio comms, ECOMs, ham radio. There's a lot of guys that are woodsmen that are great woodsmen. I mean, they are absolute experts that don't have their ham license. I happen to be one of those guys. I've never gotten my ham license, but I am proud to tell you that I have been studying for my ham license, and I expect to have them before the end of next week. How's that? I've wanted to do it my whole life. I just haven't had time, to be honest with you. No matter what I was doing, I just didn't have the time to sit down and do that. And back then, back when I first started looking into it, you had to know Morse code in order to be able to get your license. Not anymore. So, thank you, Brandon, for talking about this. And by the way, you're doing a great job introducing BattlBox folks to your experience with ham radio. I've been watching those, having a lot of fun. So, this right here is my favorite piece of gear in this month's box. And there's other gear that is great, but I'm just saying, what this is doing, it not only gives you the opportunity to have these comms, but it also introduces you and kind of cracks the door for you to look into becoming a ham operator with your technician's license. So it's not that hard, it really isn't. So great ad on that, and that is your advanced box. So now we're going to move on to the Pro box, and I think you're going to like this one too. All right, so the Pro box this month, bam, right there, Flex Tail. We got 2 items. This comfort meets camp, craft, finesse. Now, let me just give you a disclaimer. About 8 or 10 years ago, Climate reached out to us. They wanted us to get them in the magazine, do an article on some of their sleep pads. They sent us 3 different ones, good, better, best, and they were like, okay, very bad, and give that to your enemy. I did not like them, since then we've kind of stayed away. There's some decent ones out there. Some of the Z folders are pretty good, and there was one that a company called Haven sent to us. It wasn't bad at all, especially in the hammock, but when you're talking about ground, you better have something special in order to keep that stuff from busting up your back. Here's what you get from FlexTail, and it comes, this is called the Zero pillow, and this is that guy right here. All right, I could read this to you here, but I'm going to tell you just my experience using this pillow has been awesome. Especially, I sleep on my side a lot, even when I'm out in the bush, laying on a mattress pad. It is the way I sleep, okay? I sleep on my back, and I just don't like it at all. But I like to sleep on my side, kind of looking out in case I hear a noise, okay? It just comes from training. But this pillow is lightweight, it's flexible, the cover on it is super comfortable, and it inflates very easy. Especially, I cheated, and I'm not ashamed. I had the FlexTail. What's this called here? The FlexTail. It's the mini pump. It's got a name. Tiny Pump X. This thing is so nice. We talk about electronics out in the bush. Here is a classic example. FlexTail has just been doing us right. And this one happens to have a light on the bottom too. You might still be able to get some of these from BattlBox. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But it was a lifesaver for me today and a time saver to blow up the pillow. And then the second piece of gear in this particular system is right here. The FlexTail Zero mattress pad. This is super comfortable, and if you have that pump, my goodness, this goes up in about a minute. That's about all it takes with that little pump. And then when you get done, you can use the pump to take the air back out so you can actually get it back in the stuff sack. Now, what are the impressive things about this? Number one, it blows up very easy. The fabric is quite rugged. I put it right down on the ground without a pad underneath it or a footprint of any sort, no tarp, no nothing. And it did not poke, it did not break, it didn't do anything except hold up my big, heavy body. I weigh 205 pounds. I'm 5'9", I weigh 2'5", so that's like a phone booth, a short phone booth. But it held me up very, very well. It's about the width of my body, and you know, I'm not a real small guy here. I think my chest is like a 48, something like that. But what's really impressive is the length of this dude. Now I don't even have it in the camera. It's touching the ground right now, and it's every bit of at least a foot. Let me go down here. You see how much taller it is than me. Now Brandon said he's 6'2", and he has room. I could see that. My son is 6'3", and Rocky could fit on here as well. You know, so this is an awesome ad. It doesn't take much to put this in your rucksack if you want to hump it out, you know, for the weekend or just for the day or whatever you want to do. I'm going to try it in a hammock and see how it goes in the hammock. We're getting ready to come up to fall deer season, and I like the hammock when I'm out doing the deer hunts. I don't know if we're going to do the big buck challenge this year, but if we do, we'll let you know and invite you to come on out and be a part of it. It's really fun. You know, if nothing else, you don't bang a deer, you can get out and you can try all the food at the deer camp and all the drinks and the fire and hear all the lies that guys are telling, and gals too. Man, they can tell lies just like the guys do. All right, so that is your Pro Box for this month, and you're into the Pro Box for $124.99, and you get all the gear that's behind it. All right, so that leads us now to the Pro Plus Box, Knife of the Month. And this one is called the Omega Skinner, and the Omega Skinner is made by Mountain Bonded. It's MTM bonded, but I'm sure that's for Mountain Bonded Omega Skinner. Full-tang D2 with G10 handles, built for real work. Now, the side of the box says the last blade you ever need. Well, that's a bold statement, truly. How do you know that? You know, I don't know. I've seen some great knives, seen some good knives. You know, we'll find out, you know, if it is the last knife you'll ever need. But I know this. What I see here is very, very nice. Okay? This is it here in all its glory. Look at that guy. Feels great. The D2, it's not heavy D2 steel. Got a nice point on it. Nice drop point there for skinning. And the handles on this right here, the G10, it doesn't feel like regular G10. It's got some friction to it. You're going to be able to hold on to it. It's not going to slip in your hand. Got a nice lanyard hole there, you know, ample to be able to put a lanyard on there. It's balanced very, very well. Let's see if I can get it balanced up here. Now, I saw Brandon do it. Why can't I do it? Whoa. Haha, I did. Look at that. Is that the cheat though? I don't know, but I know this. This is a great knife. I love this knife. The exposed pommel for crushing. Now, one of the things I've told you in the past is that I never buy a knife because the sheath is sexy, right? Never. That's a bad way to go to buy a knife. So a lot of makers, what they do is they send you a BS sheath just to say, we got a sheath on it in case somebody gets cut or something like that. This is a Kydex sheath. I believe it's Kydex. I wonder if they'll tell me. Bending Mountain Omega Bond is first. No, comes with an injected molded sheath. Well, see, we're getting better with that injected molded stuff because it looks a lot and feels a lot and it acts a lot like formed Kydex. This is a decent sheath. The only thing I don't like about it is this clip, right? Don't care for that clip. You know, usually you have to take your belt off because you can't pull it off without getting yanked on your belt. It's not a game changer. Just, you know, change out the clip. That's all you can do. You know, I'm sure you're like us. You got hundreds of them sitting around. And if not, just go out and buy one real cheap off of Amazon. The knife is not the sheath and the sheath isn't the knife. This is your knife right here and it's a beauty. And if all I had was this, I would feel very confident taking it out into the bush. Now, is it sharp? Yes. I would show you here that I'm cutting hairs on my arm. I got scolded for doing that too. I look like a dog with mange, all these bald spots on my arm where I'm cutting the hair off, you know. Nice. This is mission 126. Very, very cool. Now, there's a couple things that I want to make mention to you. Number one, get out on woodtrampoutdoors.com and read the magazine this month. A lot of good stuff in it. Then we got this next issue coming up, and we've got 3 very cool celebrity writers. I got Kevin Johnson from River Valley Survival. He's probably one of the best, if not the very best, I've ever seen using a bow drill, making them. He's made them out of every style of wood combinations. He's great at it. That's all there is to it. And then we've got Mr. Todd Hunt. Todd Hunt is one of our favorite knife makers, one of the few knife makers that we have ever endorsed. He's the guy that made the M18. Dope. We just put his trade water out on the magazine. Very, very, very nice knife. And he's going to do a series, as a matter of fact. Going to start a series on what goes into a knife, what to look for, how to judge them, how to build them, you know, the pitfalls, the pratfalls. And then we just brought Mr. J. Hercules on from Possum Pouch Products out of, I think, West Virginia. Can't remember which. Just talked to him, and he is going to write a series for us also. So we got some great articles coming up on how to and why do you want to do this, what do you want to avoid, those things like that. And then we got a couple other things that are happening that I really can't reveal yet until I've got them inked in. But there's some great things happening here. So appreciate you reading the magazine, watching the channel on Backwoods Biker. Yes, we're still using Backwoods Biker on YouTube. I just don't want to change it. It takes too much time and effort. You know, people know who we are and where we go. So I appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all your emails. Write some comments down there what you think about this BattlBox. This is a pretty good one here. They hit all the boxes and the bases. Shay just put out an email letting us all know that she's pretty much got 26 locked down. What a crack team they have. So BattlBox, great job. Everybody, appreciate you. Till next time, you guys be safe out there no matter what you're doing.